All right, let's talk about something fascinating. It's a pattern that runs silently and, often pretty destructively through so many of our relationships. We're going to decode it. Let's jump right in.
So let me ask you this. Do you ever get that feeling? You know the one, where you feel like you're putting in all this effort, you're doing your part, you're being thoughtful, but you're just left feeling kind of let down, maybe even a little resentful, because you're not getting back what you thought you would.
If you're nodding your head right now, trust me, you are so not alone. It's an incredibly common frustration. And the good news? There's a name for the dynamic that's causing all that grief.
See, that feeling, that's the symptom. It's this silent frustration that just bubbles up under the surface. But to actually solve it, well, first we need to figure out what's really going on. We need a diagnosis.
So what is it? What's the name for this silent frustration? It's called a covert contract. And that word, covert, meaning hidden, secret, is absolutely perfect.
So what is a covert contract? It's basically an unspoken agreement that exists only inside one person's head. And that's the kicker, right? That's the fatal flaw. It's a deal that the other person doesn't even know exists. It follows this really simple but kind of sneaky formula. I'm going to do this nice thing, this helpful thing X for you, and in return you're just supposed to know that you owe me Y. There's no discussion, it's all just pure expectation.
And this is where it all goes wrong. In the giver's mind, they've just made a transaction. They've paid their emotional dues, they've done their part. But in the receiver's mind, they've just been given a lovely gift. They have absolutely no idea they've just signed up for a deal, and now they're in debt. This gap, this is where all that resentment starts to grow.
So what does this actually look like in the real world? Let's break down 3 super common examples of these hidden deals. I have a feeling you might recognize 1 or 2 of these.
First up, the validator. This is when you offer a shoulder to cry on, but it's not entirely a gift. The hidden expectation is that the other person will, feel better quickly and then tell you what an amazing, supportive listener you are. And when they don't, you feel like your effort was a total waste. Next up, a classic, the provider. This is the contract that basically says, look, I am working myself to the bone, I'm providing all this financial stability, and in exchange for that, you are not allowed to ask for my emotional energy. Financial support gets traded for a free pass on emotional connection, except the other person never actually agreed to those terms.
And our final big one is the lover. This is where helpful actions, like doing all the dishes without being asked, aren't just kind gestures anymore. They're basically a down payment, an unspoken trade for physical intimacy later on. It turns a genuinely nice act into this loaded transaction.
Okay, so if these hidden deals are so bad for our relationships, what's the alternative? Well, it's actually pretty simple, but it requires a huge shift in how we communicate, from just hinting at what we want to actually, asking for it.
And this lays it out perfectly. Covert contracts are all about hinting and hoping, basically expecting the other person to be a mind reader. The healthy alternative is an overt contract. That just means asking for what you need and then coming to a real mutual agreement. It's about collaboration, not manipulation. So the antidote really just boils down to one simple, powerful action: making a direct request. So instead of that lover contract, you have a real conversation. Something like, hey, I'd love to feel close tonight. What if I handle the kitchen cleanup so we can relax together sooner? See? It's simple, it's clear, it's honest. It turns a potential fight into a moment of teamwork.
But hold on, if it's really that simple, why is it so hard? Why don't we just do it all the time? Well, because asking for something directly, that involves risk. And it's that risk that keeps us stuck in these toxic little cycles. I mean, this is the big fear, isn't it? It's the heart of the whole thing. If I actually say out loud, I would like affection, I might get a direct no. And wow, that stings. Rejection is painful. So these covert contracts, they feel safer, right? Because it seems like we're dodging that potential for a flat-out no.
But here's the thing you have to understand. You don't actually avoid rejection. You just get to choose your flavor of no. You can get a direct no, which, yeah, it's painful for a moment, but it's clear, it's over. Or you can get the no that comes from a broken covert contract, which is chronic, confusing, and builds this slow, simmering resentment that can last for years.
And that's the great paradox here. The very strategy we use to protect ourselves from the pain of rejection, that safe route of silent agreements, actually guarantees a much more toxic, much more destructive outcome for the relationship in the long run.
So I'll leave you with this question to think about. When you look at your own relationships, Really ask yourself, are you building a genuine partnership, one that's based on open, honest communication? Or are you just funding a series of silent transactions, hoping for a return on an investment the other person never even knew you made?